everybody, and welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings to you the latest and greatest and odd and crazy news from all over the planet. We are the DoorDash to your news. We are the ones who you call and you're like, hey, it's time for news, and we're like, sounds good, better tip me, and here's some fees, and here's some stuff, and we want all these things from you, and then we show up at your door with that glorious news, and we're like, oh, we're good, we're social distance, here's the news, we're gonna sit it on your porch there, and we'll take a picture of it sometimes, and then we'll drive off and be like, peace out, everybody, I hope you enjoy your sandwiches, that's actually news that goes in your ears. And then you go and sit down with it, and you're so happy because you can watch that one episode of Bridgerton without the porn together and have a great time eating your sandwiches, watching your water cooler porn. Hi, I'm Steven, your host, joined as always by the amazing, the wonderful Smashley.
Was there an episode of Bridgerton without porn?
I don't know. I haven't watched Bridgerton. But it's a running thing to talk about still because I think it's winning like Emmys or something. It's winning awards for its ample nudity.
It was really good up until this one episode, and they're just like filler.
I'm just harping on it. I'm harping on the Bridgerton because I got nothing else. Actually, I'm living the squeeze. Do you know what the squeeze is? What the squeeze is? The squeeze is a mental state that you arrive in when you realize it's not a grind. The grind is at least you're getting somewhere. But the squeeze is when almost every hour of your day is taken up by monotonous things that continue to happen every day. And you realize I'm not living. I am making it from one day to the next, and they look the same.
Existing.
What was yesterday like? Same as today. I'm like Pinky and the Brain. Or Brain, I guess. What are we going to do tonight, Brain? Same thing we try to do every night, Pinky. Every day. Every day.
Try to survive the global pandemic.
Yeah, try to survive the flippin' pandemic, which I'm done with. I don't want it anymore, and I think that I would like to return it. It's been almost a year, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready for it to go away now.
We have new versions now, so.
Pandemic 2.0, more contagious than ever before and kills more people. Hey. Shove that up your butt, pandemic.
So basically, you're suffering like the brain death of abject boredom and no hope of doing anything fun.
Yes.
Oh, DH Dunn followed us. Yay.
Yeah. I'm feeling there's the brain death. It's working its way in. So much so that Stephanie and I have considered just going like, when are we going to the beach and what house are we going to get? And like I'm still gonna work. And she's still going to teach Sam, we just want to be somewhere that's not here in our house anymore. Be like at someone else's house like we did last year, like in May. You're like,
are we going to wait till it's warmer?
F it. I'm going whenever I want to go. If I go to the mountain, I can go to the beach. I can go anywhere I want to go as long as I don't look at other people. And I just be somewhere else and go, look.
But, so what we do is we pee in a cup the entire way, which was super fun because sometimes you have so much pee it overflows, which was not super fun. Good thing Jacob's floor mats are plastic because, there are
Did you pee on his floor? You peed on his floor. You peed on his floor. You sprinkled when you tinkled, and you got it all over the floor.
I overflowed, but you can't tell.
Get one of these. As he holds up his giant gallon
I'm like,
jug.
okay, surely like a hunting, because he gave me like this hunting thing, and it was like this effing big, Steven. I'm like, this is fine. But like, you know how you can hear when liquid starts getting to the top, and I'm like,
yeah,
I still have pee to go.
You stop peeing. Plug it up.
Well, I wasn't sure. And then like, I'm like, well, okay. So I can't just lean back and pull it out, right? Like I had to squat and we had the seat pushed all the way back and I was sitting in the back with a baby. So I'm like doing this like sumo squat where my knees are like this. And I'm like, this is effing uncomfortable. And it was just like, and I don't want my pee to smell. Like I don't want everyone to smell pee. Like it was awful. It was because I don't pee in front of Jacob and he doesn't pee in front of me. Like
I'm getting the weirdest mental image of like this
so bad
this thing going on. Like
it was just
put your feet up in the back of his seat,
stupid.
Trying to aim.
So anyway, we did that. And we just like we stopped at a stoplight and I opened the door and went I'm like,
Yeah.
and we were driving away, and Jacob goes, "Oh my god, there's a giant water spot now."
Yeah, because you had to pour out that old Coca-Cola, of course. Duh.
Yeah.
I've done that with Sam. I remember Stephanie. Stephanie will let Sam pee. Like if we're out somewhere. We went to the park once and he had to pee, and I'm like, okay, well we can't go in the bathroom because pandemic, so we let him pee
Right.
in this jar, and I'll just pour it out, right? Like I'll just pour it out where I'll let him pee in the jar, and then I'll pour it out so he can hide while he pees. Nobody gets to no weirdos are watching my
Perv on his
son.
yeah.
But when I take the cup from him and I just pour it out on the ground. I mean, your dog's gonna pee on a tire. What difference does it make? But Stephanie will keep it and wait till we get home and pour
Yeah.
it in the grass. I'm like, what are you doing? Just nobody cares. Nobody cares. Once you become a parent, you had this new part of your brain that just goes survive, get the things done, and you worry far less.
I don't
At least
care
you're a
about
dad.
pee because it's like
pee.
Dad
We're not
used to go
dropping
pee on the
turds.
plants to keep the deer away. Like he'd have a shotgun just peeing on the plants, and be like, "Come on, you MFers." Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I every once in a while I'll be around somebody and they won't flush the toilet. And I judge their pee because my pee is beautiful. Like my pee is super
I'm sure it
clear,
is.
barely it's got like a yellow tinge, right? It's not like the thick gold that squirts out of some people. And I'm like, it's only bright yellow if I have lots of vitamin B. Like if I eat nutritional yeast, my pee looks like a highlighter. I'm like, yeah, because your body can't absorb it all. My pee is beautiful. But I'm just like, okay, if you like Mayor Squish, by the way, Nicole, I dig. If you pee into the commode with water in it and your pee is still so yellow that it looks like a makeup color, do you not worry?
If your pee's not a makeup color,
If it's just that super old gold.
old gold is what I nicknamed my urine.
I bought DH's book set and I'm really excited.
You
'Cause
bought
it's
all
fantastic.
the people's book sets. Your pee,
I did.
according to Dr. Oz, famous television doctor, who, well, we don't really know if he knows anything or not.
Don't even.
He
set 'em on
says
fire.
you should be able to read through your urine. It should be at least light enough to read through.
That's not-
If I drink this all day, I don't. It's just it comes out looking just like it went in. It's just clear, all over the place. Mm-hmm.
You don't want old gold pee.
Old gold sounds like a candy bar or some sort
It's
of
totally a
tobacco.
makeup color. It's like this marigold yellow. I don't know. It just looks like it should like Mountain Dew. If your pee looks like Mountain Dew, or if your pee smells like coffee, drink more water.
That's probably a good idea. I've tried to start remembering to drink water first in the morning and then get rolled gold pretzels. DH Dunn says I peed on a book and I could not read it.
That was amazing.
He tried. Did not work. I've been trying to drink water in the morning, like the first thing, drink a whole bunch of water, and then eat breakfast, have coffee and stuff. Start out with the hydration. I forget to do that a lot. And then I'm just it's like 11 a.m. and I've had 3 cups of coffee and I'm going, man, I haven't peed at all today. Oh, snap. Where's my bottle?
How do you forget to drink water first? When I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, desiccated husk. Even before I started nursing, I'm just like,
I don't. Well, sure, I get preoccupied with other things. I also don't worry about food most of the time. I get preoccupied with other stuff. I'm like, I wake up and all I can think when I first wake up is coffee. Must get to coffee maker. Must find cereal. I'm just completely zombified.
Yeah, okay.
Our chat is on the money tonight. Josie says I can read French, but only if I pee on it first.
I don't know what water is.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, this is water.
That is not water.
It's water.
That is green.
It's algae.
Right.
It's the purest of water. I just went to the pond in the back. It's
like looking at a can of Coca-Cola going, this is water. It just has stuff in it.
Oh my God. Okay. We're not going political, but I am going to reference something that's political, and then we're going to move past it.
Okay.
People stormed our nation's capital violently. And I'm like, could we like direct some of that rage to the MFing corporations that are literally poisoning us and scooping up our country's resources and like reveling in the poorness and the starvation and the heavy metal toxicity of like, oh my god. Like at what point do we go, hey, they do not have our best interest at heart, and maybe they should die in a fire, or maybe we should bring back the guillotines because those people are assholes. Like, at what point do we get sick of them hurting us and just praying at the altar of Bezos?
Maybe, well, I think I know what you're referring to. Bezos didn't poison you. He just sold you the poison through as a third party. You're trying to get at Monsanto and Gerber and the whatnots for putting additives into the things they sell that we eat that make us dead or otherwise poisoned.
So it's the whole culture, though. So since baby was 4 months old, the pediatricians have been shoving rice cereal on
Yeah.
him. And I'm sitting here going, I know that there is arsenic in rice. And especially like rice grown here in the South in the United States. So you have to be super careful about where you get your rice source from. I really effing doubt that Gerber, Walmart, and Sprouts, F you, by the way, like, I hope your entire board catches on fire and poops frogs for the next 3 months. Like, give two shits about where their rice is sourced from. You know what I mean? Like, so we've got this pervasive culture of shoving. Okay, so one of my girlfriends in Sidring reached out and she said, there's a sock. There's a sock called an owlet, and it monitors your baby while it's sleeping and like monitors its blood oxygen, yada yada. Shit you should be effing doing, but we are told it is dangerous to sleep with your baby. We are told not to sleep with your baby. You're a bad parent. There's like all this whatever. Okay. And we're shoved cribs and we're shoved fucking socks. You are letting a sock watch the most precious thing in the world to you and hope that your sock keeps your baby safe. That is fucking insane. But it's shoved down our throats that we're bad parents if we sleep with our kids. We're bad parents if we don't give rice cereal to them. We're bad parents if we don't do organics. But it's just stupid. It's so I just see the swears going.
Yeah, you let a few loose there.
But you know what I mean? Like, we are being told this by people that we trust, by pediatricians, because they're being told this in their like 2 weeks that they get of nutritional training in school. And it's bullshit. It's capitalism at its worst. They want to sell you a crib. I mean, by the way, the crib industry backed so much of the studies done for SIDS and yada 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 and co-sleeping and how it's dangerous and blah blah blah. It's stupid. It's stupid and it's awful. And I'm like, when do we get done? Like, when do we march on their buildings and be like, you are literally killing us and you're making us smile while you do it? Go get bent.
There are people that do it, but they do it alone. They walk up to. I once drove past a Bush Baked Beans factory and they were like, I found poison in your beans. But there was just one guy out there just yelling. And they were like, good, here's a gift certificate to Bush's Baked Beans.
Real?
No. Why would it be real? No.
Well, I don't know.
Just saying
it could have been.
That's what happens. People get all up in arms. That's why they have to make movies about it years after the fact where they finally are like, hey, this was jacked up. Nothing we can do about it now, but we almost proved it. It's like that DuPont movie where they poisoned like half of West Virginia County.
The entire world has that in their genome now. There is not a spot that we have tested on the effing planet that has not been literally genomically fucked. By DuPont.
Genomically effed.
Genomically effed. That
Show
is
title that one.
Science.
We have scienced this. Does this mean that I can finally throw away the crib stuff we've been leaving around? You don't want it?
Burn it.
Okay,
Burn
cool.
It.
Cool.
Burn it.
I'm keeping all kinds of baby bullcrap that I think you don't want any of anyway. And it's like, well, we'll keep it for Jacob and Ashley's baby. And if you say I can throw it away, I will throw it before someone finds out. because I got cleaning to
Burn
do,
it.
baby.
Babies need a Tupperware to roll around with, and you to care about them. Like,
What? Me care about them? This is insane. I've got video games to play. What are you doing?
Stealth, I am sorry. I have been ranting, and if I missed your question, please repeat it, because all I see is my plus swears that I'm
Ashley's just,
assuming subject is like.
hey, Sub is here though. That's the good news, and he's
That's
keeping
because I
track of it.
volunteered him for D&D, and he's angry.
Oh, okay. He's here to get revenge. He's gonna make sure that happens. Well, thank you for enlightening all of us. You know, listen. You're gonna be fine. There are very few bad parents. Remember, if you and anyone else out there listening, if you haven't burned your kids with cigarettes or left them in a room somewhere alone throwing up all over themselves, you're probably doing all right. I would say that's probably a good thing. But I mean, it's hard to say, you know? It's hard to say.
I just feel like we should.
I think we all turn out fine is my gist.
It's not even that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. We're being fed stuff that we heartily, like, we believe. You slap organic on a label and you're like, okay, I read the ingredients. I believe I'm doing something right for my child.
Sure, because it says organic on it.
Well, even if you flip it over and read the ingredients, but when they add like the vitamins and stuff, like they don't test that. And so Steven and I are referencing the
There's a report today. What was the Food Drug Administration? No, it wasn't the FDA.
Yeah, it was some
other report that came out.
We're
the news show, but we don't talk about this news. This is new. This is new news. This is out of our wheelhouse, but it's pretty plain and simple that there was hidden ingredients and companies that refused to allow their stuff to be tested. Because
Subcommittee on Economic and Consumer Policy, Committee on Oversight and Reform, the House of Reps. So they tested baby food and they were finding it was way over the limit for like heavy metals. And this is stuff that like builds up too. Like your body is not able to get rid of heavy metal toxins like super easily. So if you keep feeding your kid this, like it can cause all sorts of like, they've done studies on it. Like it lowers their IQ and everything. It's not good for you. It attacks your brain.
This explains what happened to me. I could be working for SpaceX, putting people on Mars. But because I was eating...
Now you're only smart.
Gerber food, now I'm only pretend smart. Even then, I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. We had a meeting today, and I was talking about, like, it's one of our just chat, hang out, have a conversation, bring up anything you want. And I was like, I think we should just talk about the things we're stuck on more. We should just openly be like, I'm stuck on this, and I've been trying to figure it out for an hour and a half, and I'd like some assistance, or I'd like to just throw it out here. Because I think, as Hammer Dwarf and I have discussed many times, there's not enough public failure. There's not enough public, like, I'm stuck. Because I can end up stuck for a day, and then I talk to a friend of mine, so I get stuck on this thing, and I'm, like, trying to hack at it, and I'm stubborn, you know. I don't know if you know that about me, but I'm real stubborn. When I approach a problem, I'm like, I'll figure this freaking thing
you
out.
Offer him help, he will elbow you in the scrotum.
Stop helping me. I'm not ready for it yet. I've got to work the problem. So then I finally asked my buddy, and not only did he help me solve that problem within 10 minutes, he also solved 2 other problems I didn't know I had at the same time. And I'm like, son of a gun, why don't I talk to you more often? So I'm just like, y'all, we need to just throw it out there. Like, here, even when you're not, you treat like when you're doing sprints and scrums and all this stuff, you treat your blockers, as they call blockers, is like, I'm getting stuck by something. It always seems like it has to be external, like somebody else needs to do a thing before I can do a thing. But it doesn't. Sometimes you're your own blocker, and I think that's really hard to recognize. Is like, I'm blocking myself because I'm stubborn about this problem that I'm trying to fix, and maybe if anybody out there has an idea, I'd love to get together today. Like, that would be like amazing. Of course, I work with brilliant people who all pretty much have a good grasp on what they're doing and know and don't get stuck like me. But I get stuck, and I want to openly get stuck.
Crap, though. Like, and I feel okay. So I have a question. Do you think that you are going to be more open to asking for help when you get stuck from now on, coming
No.
to that realization? Okay.
Do I look like somebody who's gonna all of a sudden change all my behavior because I had a revelation one day? Like,
No.
no, I'm gonna totally get stuck again. And then I'm gonna be like, hey, man, we should not get stuck like this again. I mean, it's gonna happen because I do
Hammerdorf
enjoy the
said fail
chase.
out loud, and I like
Fail
that.
out loud. I like that. I enjoy
Yeah.
the chase. I enjoy solving the problem, or I just look up walkthroughs for adventure games all day. Part of it is the joy of discovery, but then you gotta figure out when that time to throw it in, and when you're kind of being paid to not get stuck for days on end on one problem. It's like let's make progress. So it's like one of those deals. It's finding that happy medium where you're satisfied that you learned a thing, and it's the
Right.
same satisfaction you get from achieving that like success. Like I got through it. I did it.
I
I
either
learned it.
like immediate like if I get stuck, I either immediately go, someone else has to know how to do this,
Right.
or I won't realize I'm stuck and I'll keep plotting at it until I'm like, what day is it?
Yeah, right? I'm halfway through this 2-week sprint and I haven't solved this problem I've been fighting with for a week. And distracting myself for 5 minutes to look at something unrelated is not helping me.
No.
Subconscious
your brain
is not pulling it off. It's not doing
No.
its job. Like sometimes you'll be like in the shower and you're like, holy crap, I know what to do. But you can't just wait for epiphanies all the time. Sometimes you got to reach for that handout, and that's okay.
Okay, so I know there's some ADHD people in the chat. Like, do you guys have shower thoughts? Like, I hear people talk about shower thoughts all the time, and like, I understand like biologically what's going on that you can have a shower thought. I don't really have them. I daydream extensively in the shower, but I don't have like these eureka moments at 4 a.m. when I'm laying in bed drifting off to sleep. I'm a genius. I
Oh,
write
yeah.
the best Twitter posts. I fix the problems in my man's. Like, I am on fire, and I guarantee myself that I will remember them, because it's not like I can pull out my phone and write because I'll wake the baby up, and it's not like I can turn on a light and write it because I'll wake the baby up. And I'm just like, da 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 da. So I wonder if it's like just a me thing, or if it's like kind of an ADHD thing where the shower is not as exciting. So I'm just like, I'm gonna imagine that Raceland is going to bust in on me and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Is that really what you do? Why
I
Raceland?
have had that fun shower.
I bet. You're like, can't wait for Raceland to pop in here. He's like a dying
I
elf
had
guy.
the biggest crush on him. He was such a douchebag, but I was in
Yeah, I
love with
hated
him.
him.
And he was gold.
Why not
So that was
Tannis
the kind.
Half-Elven? Get him in there. It'd be fun.
Okay, so he is the whiniest mofo on the planet. You want to talk about not accepting help and like, meow, 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 meow. I was just like, oh my god, like get over your half beard and like move on with your life, because you and the wine train, like, and there is not enough cheese to get me on your wine train.
You want some French fries with that wham burger? I made her shoot green
I
stuff
almost
up
got
her
pond scum everywhere.
nose. That's not something you hear every day. Yeah, if you totally
Like,
don't know what I was talking about, that's Dragonlance. It's a fantasy
everybody in the
series.
chat is definitely
They definitely
more on
know.
the nerdtacular
Yeah,
side, because everybody's like Dragonlance.
they know. They're like, I know
Yeah.
what they're talking about. I was telling, I was ranting Wednesday morning. I'm in a small group of guys, and we're from all different walks of life. But I was ranting about how, like, someone's child is in middle school and trying to figure out how to navigate the emotions and hormones of
Ugh.
people. And I was like, if we could just somehow convince the children in middle school that one day they'll get to college where they'll be able to prune their tribe and not just be shoved in a room with people their same age and told that they have to get along. They'll be like, F those people. I'm hanging out with these people. I'm going to classes to do these things. And they'll find all these people. I'm like, I have not met a person in my general day-to-day activities in a long time that where I've said the words D&D and they've gone like, nerd. Like, it's always been, oh, dude, you play D&D? Like, really? Like, we should get in on that. Like, that is when life takes off. When you know you can just be you and no one gives a flip. And even if they don't like D&D, they're like, oh, that's cool. I've never played before. You're like, this is what maturity is. This is what life is. We can just.
Let me introduce you to the badgers. I miss my badgers. I miss
D&D
my
was
freaking
fun.
badgers, and I miss my cat with wings.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there again.
I
One
had
of
to
these
get
days.
badgers. They were awesome and they were alcoholics.
They were
wonderful.
Great. Let's do a show.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Factoid of the week. The first photo of a person was accidental. In 1828, Louis Daguerre, I guess it's French, who knows? Crap. Took the first photo that captured a human being. His intention was to take a photo of the Boulevard du Temple in Paris. It's not, I think it's just Temple. Temple.
Louis de Bleu.
Louis de Bleu.
James Jagger said a P on it first.
Yeah, right. The man in this photo was standing in the street getting his shoes polished. Since the exposure lasted for 7 minutes, the man also got captured. He was captured while we were taking the picture? What happened to him? Did he get dragged down a back alley and kept in a dungeon? We'll never know. The story just ends too soon. Could you imagine? Like, that's a really good, like Victorian era noir novel. Like, I was getting my picture developed. The exposure was 8 minutes, and as the picture was getting developed, I noticed a man, a shadow, being dragged into the distance by a mugger. What happened to him? The world will never know. I should have been watching in real life and not through my camera lens.
Okay, wait. So now I'm really curious.
Really curious about what? The picture? Hold on, Ashley's reading silently again.
Sorry, like, wait, what? Where is the dude?
I don't see him in this picture, unless it's right.
Got
Oh no, I see him.
Okay,
Yeah, he's right there
you
in the middle of the road.
You can't just say that and not fix it. Like, I need to know what happened.
He got captured by the camera, Smash. That's the joke. Not captured literally. The picture captured. He got captured. Did you think I was being? Oh Lord.
You lose. Good day, sir.
It's the devil. I
was so upset. I'm like, why would Jacob give us?
You thought for serious that the man was literally captured by someone while getting his picture taken. I'm like,
what do they have, like Aeon Flux people, like, just walking around grabbing, like, they disappeared?
I couldn't figure out why you didn't think that was hilarious. It's because you thought I was just getting on with it.
Okay, but what happened?
I was like, why is she not throwing that back at me? Why did I get, you just caught it? And we're like, yes. Why was he captured?
Okay, well, I was looking at the chat and I wasn't really paying attention, so I had to go reread it from it. Shush, all of you. My attention was divided. There is shushing. You
got Pokemon. Oh, that's great. That's great.
I hate you all.
That's all right. I don't know where to go from there except to the world news. That was man. If the show in a nutshell is what just happened.
Saying you got captured, like, that is not, like, that's clickbait BS. Yeah.
You're right. That is clickbait. Man captured downtown off the port. And you're like, what happened? And so he was getting his picture taken. Italian mafia orders ambulance drivers to stop using sirens because they disturb drug dealers. This is real life. The Italian mafia has ordered ambulance drivers in Naples to stop using their sirens and flashing lights because they confuse drug dealers. In one reported incident on Saturday, 2 gang members stopped an ambulance and threatened to kill the driver for putting the siren on while traveling to an emergency in the southern city. Local clans are said to dislike the blaring sirens and ambulance lights as they can disturb drug pushers who mistake them for the arrival of police cars, interrupting their business and scaring off customers. While traveling to an emergency in the city's Spanish Quarter, one medical worker was driving an ambulance with its siren on when the vehicle was flanked by 2 men riding a large motorbike. They banged on the ambulance window and threatened to kill the driver. "Haven't you understood you cannot use a siren here? Turn it off or we'll shoot you," one of the men warned. After the incident, forget about it. After the incident, the terrified medic was forced to call the police to escort him out of the neighborhood safely. In the past 3 years, Naples has recorded 300 incidents of aggression toward medics as the local emergency service of 17 ambulances has been stretched too thinly for the 1 million residents. Alessandro Amatrano, a local MP, urged the government to consider the fight against the clans from Naples' mafia Camorra as a national priority. What the devil? Like, the mafia, that was like a Fast and the Furious kind of incident. Like, driving up next to the ambulance being like, shut it off. I need to do a deal over here. What is wrong?
Like, you know that story in the Bible about like everybody drowning?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Okay. If I was an all-powerful deity and
I
I'm
could
like
see
looking
that
at
as a thing.
this plague, I'd be like, I'm gonna add genital herpes to this one.
But only to people who are being terrible. Only to the terrible people. What if COVID caused genital herpes, people would probably stop moving around. We tried to threaten people with ED and that didn't help.
The bars would be effing empty.
They would be empty if they were like, listen, this thing makes your wiener fall off. But instead, there's rumors that the vaccine makes your wiener fall off. And they're believing that. And it's like,
if you get a vaccine, your dick gets bigger. Like 100% science. Fauci said so.
Horse-sized. Horse-sized wiener. Like longer
you
in
won't
girth.
be able to fit in your flippin' skinny jeans. There will just
No.
be the big. You'll have to have like bulge extenders.
Yeah, you'll have just a giant PVC pipe looking thing going down your leg. Just your
like it'll be like, is that a squirrel tube or
Yeah.
you get the vaccine, baby?
It's like, why are you limping? Got the vaccine. That's my problem.
Sheeple podcast. I can confirm that fact.
get the vaccine and you just grows. And people be like, I'm in that. Let's go. I'm taking my vaccine. We did. We threatened people with ED and they still wander around doing whatever, going to bars. It's just not enough. Why are all the wrong rumors getting picked up and believed? Why is all the wrong ones?
Bad. It's so bad. Like, people are having trouble breathing because they walk to their mailbox. Their hair is falling out. Their extremities are falling off. Like, this isn't like just because Tina got it and had a couple coughs and she was fine. Oh my God, whatever. You're selfish and a butthole.
If you want to hear
And
more
I hope
about
you get
this,
genital warts.
you can join us every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for Staring at Goats, your resource for COVID news. Because it's a good time. But we'll try to steer clear of it. We'll
And
try.
HOAs.
And HOAs. Oh,
was
I've
the
still been mad
best.
today. I've been
That
fussing.
was the best show opening.
I left that Swinks out there. I looked around the neighborhood and I thought to myself,
one right
there
up
are
from you.
800 basketball goals. Why are basketball goals allowed? Basketball goals are far more stupid and ugly than that swing I've got hanging from a tree. They can take those basketball goals and shove them up their butt too. I'm done with this place. I'm going to go to that HOA meeting and take my papers and my glasses and my tie and be like, listen, get it together.
We're in an economic meltdown. People are dying left and right. Like, political and civil unrest. And you have effing time to write HOA letters about swing sets? Get wrecked. Like, get your priorities straight. And let's do something, like, more.
Yes. May you poop fire from your rectum until it seals up shut forever. Maybe we cauterize
oh my God,
your
can
anus.
you imagine if your butthole swelled shut? That'd be awful.
That'd be no fun. No fun. It's also no fun being told to move your kid's swing set when you're in prison at home all the time because people won't quit walking around licking each other. 8 weeks and we're done with this. 8 weeks if everybody just sat their butts home. But, that's for a different show. Small Town News. Hammer Dwarf said, may you also not have a bidet for the fire poop. Yeah, that's right.
Steven's bidet is legit. I got to go pee over there the other day. I did.
Used it.
I took the little toggle and I'm like,
It gets all the undercarriage. Anything you got. I can't wait till summertime when I'm like
more
working.
undercarriage than
You got
guys
more
do,
complex undercarriage. Men have the gooch area, but you got there's a lot of complexity going on in your undercarriage.
though.
Complexity.
Our undercarriage is a crevasse.
It is a crevasse.
The crevasse. Did you read that story about the Russian hikers?
No. What did they do?
Nobody ever reads my things that I find while I'm
Look,
laying down
I'm
with a
like
baby.
working, and you always send them after my time where I can be by myself and read is gone. And I've already done that business and used my bidet, so I have time to read your stories.
So there's this it was, oh, F me twice. It was a number, like maybe 1959.
Yeah.
1959. There was a group of hikers. There was 9 of them, and they were hiking in Russia. There was 2 women, and then 9, 8, 7, and 7 guys. Bye, Mello. Sorry, internet is doo-doo. So it's been like a mystery forever about what happened to them because they never made it to their destination, and so they sent out search and rescue, and they found the bodies, and like they were in various stages of undress. Like eyeballs were missing, they had trace amounts of radiation, like tongues were missing, like their skulls were crushed, and they were just really beat up, like so bad. And it's just like there's stories about yetis and UFOs, like them being taken up and then dropped from like UFOs, and it's been like pervasive. So there was a scientist that was watching Frozen with his kid, and he was looking at the snow. He's like, "Holy crap, that's really realistic." So he got contacted Disney, and he's like, "So how y'all do this?" And he used that engine to calculate the weather that day that they were hiking, because they know like about the snowfall and stuff. And there's always been this thought that it could have been an avalanche, but they're like there wasn't enough snowfall, they weren't on a steep enough slope, yada yada yada. So they found out that there was a targeted amount of snowfall that fell, and that the slope that they had cut their like campsite into was way steeper than they thought it was. It was more than just this gentle slope. So what had happened was they laid their sleeping bag. This is so cool. They laid their sleeping bags on their skis, so they had a hard surface. Did I already tell you this?
Nope. I'm enjoying this. This is a great
Okay.
story.
They laid their skis, their sleeping bag on their skis, so it trapped them between a hard surface. And then they used science from when General Motors took corpses and did crash tests with the corpses against a hard surface and a soft surface. And so they realized that this snow slide, it was about the size of an SUV, just slammed down on their tent. And because they were trapped between a hard surface, they could use the studies that GM did with the crash test dummies on the hard surface, and that's where they got all of their bangs and bruises from. Their like skulls were cracked, and they all survived though. So they cut their way out of the tent, which they saw because it looked like that the cut had been made on the inside. They all escaped out, and so what they figured was the ones that were more mobile pulled the immobile ones out, and then they all started suffering from hypothermia. And there's this like weird paradox that when people start suffering from hypothermia, they'll start
The
undressing.
strip.
So that's
Yeah,
why
the
they were
strip.
in. Yeah. And so they figured the radiation was from their lights that they were using, and then the eyes and the tongue and stuff were scavengers.
Yeah.
But that's like fascinating. They use like these two complete like a engine for an animated movie and crash test stuff to figure out like pretty accurately what happened to these people. It's fascinating. Anyway,
That's super cool. I love
yeah.
that stuff because you never know the thing that's going to make somebody who's been obsessing over something be like, wait a minute, that could tell us some information.
Right?
And then put all that together. That's super cool. Great
I was
story.
excited.
10 points.
You're welcome.
For telling
I
that.
read it myself.
And you relayed it well. I'm glad
speaking
that
of
we
story.
used. Is that where the crash just dummy thing that came from? Where you're telling me about that? I'm like, boy, I'm sure glad we use like impact stickers now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That because I copied and pasted it, and I'm like, I swear, because I remember Steven said that, but apparently you just read the one thing.
No, I just read something about you said they used corpses, and I was like, gross.
Slytherin.
Because that sounds gross, and I also felt bad at the time for people who had volunteered their bodies for science, and they were like, "Great, we're gonna slap you inside this car and run you into a wall." Science.
It's weird what we do to corpses. I mean, there's an entire book series out about what we do to corpses.
I mean, Dawn of the Dead shows what we do with corpses. Shoot them.
I was going with the love story with the werewolf and the vampire.
Wait, who's the werewolf and vampire dead people? Oh,
So-
Twilight.
Yes. I
Okay.
was talking to a teen the other day.
Okay. A teen. Yeah.
Yes.
You're
And
allowed
I
to do
was
that
like,
still?
well, we were socially distanced because they know we just happen to see each other on the road. And I'm just like, if I was 100 years old, I would not want to bone you. I want to
Oh.
shoot myself in the face during this conversation.
Yeah, but you're a chick lady,
Oh.
and that probably has that probably skewed a bit. Historically, dudes are gross, and they could be 100 and be like, hey, pretty lady. I got nothing in common with you.
Right, like almost like you have lived like let's just say a lifetime and a half, and somebody wants to tell you about Tiffany Amber Thiessen's haircut
Right.
or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read a story. Teen
Yeah, go
accused of
for it.
stealing nearly $1 million from Georgia supermarket. How is there that? Food should not cost $1 million. Like,
Yeah, how do you, I mean,
like, did she just stick it on wheels and cart it off? A suburban Atlanta teenager.
She got the turkeys. That was what it was. She went straight to the turkeys and she threw 18 turkeys into a shopping cart.
I'm pregnant. Don't insult me.
That's how supermarket
Oh.
sweep worked. Get the turkeys.
Is that like, are turkeys super expensive? Read subject. Read the. Shh. You don't know me.
You can't tell
A
me what to do.
A suburban teenager has been arrested on charges that he defrauded. I totally assumed this was a chick. I apologize.
I did too. I don't know why.
Neither do I. That he defrauded a supermarket where he worked of nearly $1 million over a 2-week period. That's still.
Oh, he didn't steal $1
obscene.
million of groceries. He just stole $1 million from the supermarket. You had me so misled in this story.
Oh
I'm
my
like, he stole $1
God.
million
It
of
did
groceries.
not. Look, this is not my again with the shushing. The shushing shall commence. 19-year-old Trey Brown was arrested by Gwinnett County Police on charges of felony.
Gwinnett.
He was
Gwinnett
Gwinnett.
County.
It's Gwinnett. Okay, Gwinnett County Police spokesman Kappa. What's CPL? Captain Lieutenant Kappa
Corporal.
Kappa.
Corporal.
Corporal. Shit. Sorry, I feel like HG is going.
You want me to read this? There's a lot of numbers in it.
You finish. I already read a story from my brain.
You did not. You have to read it. You will read it. There's commas in the numbers. It'll help. Go for it.
Oh,
I'm excited
you're
about this.
Such a ball. Dad, Jacob, you married me, and you know I can't. Okay. Colin Flynn said Brown stole more than
Yeah.
908
$980,000.
almost $1 million. Fuck you both. Over 2 weeks by fabricating more than 40 returns. I'm so proud of myself right now. By fabricating more than 40 returns for non-existent items. Cash from the returns ranging in value from $75 to more than $87,000, boom, was placed on credit cards. Police said Brown used the stolen money to buy 2 cars, clothes, guns, and shoes. All right. Prior to his arrest, the teen reportedly totaled a Chevy Camaro that he bought. The investigation began after employees of Cincinnati-based Kroger noticed the transactions. Police said Brown sold the money when an employee tasked with flagging fraudulent transactions was on vacay. The, quote, large sum of money was returned to Kroger following the arrest, but it wasn't clear how much was recovered. I'm like, if he bought 2 cars...
What? This idiot took $1 million over a 2-week period. Has clearly not watched Office Space.
No.
You can only take a little bit of money, a little at a time, for a very long time. And then you'll get in trouble after you've already had all your fun 40 years from now.
Yeah,
And
who cares? That you
then
play the
you'll go to
long
prison.
game.
Yeah, then you go to
and
prison.
then burn it down.
Yeah, exactly. And then after you're like, oh, they're catching up to me after 40 years, better burn the building down. Then you go to jail for arson, which is different. Fine. Oh my word. Yeah.
I'm like enjoying the chat so much right now.
they're the best. They're the best
Milk
people.
is expensive.
But seriously though, $1 million
$87,000
over 2 weeks is too fast. Someone's gonna see that. Not that I'm a professional
Especially
at
if all the
embezzlement
returns
or
are done
anything.
by the same person.
Yeah, what are you doing? But as a teenager, I mean, they had
You
a
get
blast.
your friends involved. and you share the wealth and you don't immediately go buy 2 cars. Did you know that the woman that used to work at my dad's office in
Yes. Fractions of a
not
penny. Yes.
yes, not Debbie. Debbie's fantastic. It was whatever. She was a
Some other
butthole. She
lady.
stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from my father and like bought a new car and went on vacations, yada yada yada. And so dad took her to court and they argued that my dad was harassing her to get the money back and they let her keep it.
Those buttholes.
I'm like, of
I-
course he's a rat. Like, but it was one phone call. Based off of one phone call, they said it was harassment. But yeah, dad never got the money back because it was kind of like, okay, well, she's like, I already spent it all.
What's this? What is the legal system for? Like,
I don't know.
what is its purpose? What
To
does it
arrest
do
people that
other than
don't
just-
glow in the moonlight like we do.
It just puts people in jail, or it
Mhm.
doesn't do anything. Because honestly, if she'd spent all the money, your dad was never going to see it again anyway. But she would have a very gnarly mark on her record, saying that she was an embezzler. But now she
Right.
doesn't get an embezzler. Your dad's a harasser.
Yes.
For saying, "Lady, give me my money back. I
Yeah.
need my money back. I will
For
call
making
you
a phone
lot."
call going, hey, did you steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from me?
I don't
You did-
understand.
okay.
I don't
I don't know.
understand how law works. There are indeed 2 systems, but we're not going to get into that here because that's a deep, dark hole, and you're not here for that. You're here for news better left untold. See what I did there? It's pretty good.
Yeah, that was
Pretty
beautiful.
good. Florida lawyer disbarred for making a pornographic film with an inmate. This stuff happens
Speaking
in
of
prison.
the legal system.
They record stuff, and I met a guy when I worked for the Department of Corrections who had to watch videos of inmates and review them. And he was sitting in his office once. He's like, "You see this one? This is what happens in this one." I was like, "That's terrible. And I don't know why you showed me that. And I'm going to leave forever now. Bye."
What happened? Was it sexy time?
No. They threw poop at the wall or something. It was real gross. It was real. Look,
Sexy time would have been
the
preferable.
corrections institution has very good goals, but they don't always get executed the best by the
Demolition
people.
Man.
Yeah, like having worked in it, they're up top. Up top, there are lofty goals. Down below, there are not the same goals.
Down
Is
below,
what-
it's literally slave labor where they
It's
work
just,
for pennies.
I've got nothing else to do. These guys are criminals. I'm not a criminal. I'll make sure they remember that I'm in charge kind of situations going on. Anyway, a Florida attorney's been disbarred for filming his own sexual encounter with at least one female inmate for the production of a pornographic video. He was inspired by the latest episode of Bridgerton, Netflix. Before his January 21st disbarment, Andrew Spark had already been suspended following his convictions for solicitation of prostitution and bringing contraband into county detention facilities. Spark solicited sex inside attorney-client visitation rooms at 2 separate jail facilities in Florida, according to the summary of Florida Supreme Court's ruling to disbar him that was provided in a press release to the bar. The lawyer abused his privilege to practice law, the summary said. Spark even drew up a modeling contract for inmates where women would have to agree not to reveal his identity. In one instance, Spark paid a woman $10 after recording her give oral sex to him at Falkenberg Road Jail in Hillsborough County, the report said. That happened in Florida? Is there a Hillsborough County in Florida? I don't remember there being
I
one.
don't know.
I knew most of the correctional institutions in Florida, and it was always fun when I'm like, and whenever something bad happens in prison in Florida, the lady that CNN has to talk to, I've worked on her computer before. It's like, I know that lady. I fixed her computer once. She's in the news for this horrible thing that happened in Florida prison, but I worked on her computer once, and she's really nice.
Mello and I are both like $10. But that's the
It's a
other
weird
thing
flex.
that sucks about our correctional system is like, okay, we go in under the guise of like rehabilitation, right? But they're not making money inside. So when they get out, if they don't have family, like a healthy family or a healthy like system to fall back onto, they've got no money, like no job prospects. So it's just like, okay, maybe we should, if they're working, pay them. So when they get out, that they have the cash to get an apartment and like get some clothes or take a bus somewhere. You know what I mean?
Well, they
But,
pay them, but they usually pay them like pennies an hour.
Right.
Like it's not a living wage, and that's just money
Right.
they really get to spend in the canteen at the prison, so they can buy a pickle
Women
in a
get
bag.
to buy tampons and
Right.
pads. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's pickle in a
okay,
bag.
great. So $10, she was probably like, hey, maybe I could take care of myself a little bit this month.
Sure. Yeah, maybe I can take care of that portion of my life that's not going anywhere. It's not being provided for. There are halfway houses and stuff. There was one cafeteria type place in town that we would eat at that was the kitchen staff was primarily inmates, or former inmates who had just gotten out of prison. But their food was delicious. It was real great. Called Barn Hills. It's one of those places you belly up to the bar and you load down your tray with chicken and macaroni and cheese and fried okra and Jello, and then at the end you're like, that ice cream machine's looking pretty great with the ice cream bar with the sprinkles.
Oh my
man.
gosh. There's you remember Western Sizzlin'? Do you remember that?
I never went there, but I remember it.
They had, okay, have you been to Jason's Deli here?
No.
Steven, you're killing me. You know the ice cream pull lever machines that they
Yeah,
have?
soft serve
at, like,
ice cream. They had one at
Sure.
Barn Hills. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's like it always has this amazing like taste. It doesn't taste like ice cream. I don't know
Yeah.
what it's made out of.
Right. It's
But
some sort of, they put in a milky like bag of stuff and then it turns into ice cream.
Yes.
Yes,
It's kind of like halfway between ice cream and a Frosty.
Have you been to Sheetz and used their little like milkshake machine they have? Where you take a cup out of the freezer and it's got a flavor on it, and you put it in the machine, and the machine like does something to it, and it turns it into a milkshake. It is probably
No.
the most carcinogenic thing you could eat, but it's pretty awesome because it's your little
I haven't
frozen
been to Sheetz
thing.
since Morgantown. There was a
Yeah,
Sheetz
it's
in
been a long
Morgantown I'd
time.
always stop at, but not so that's been what, 2008?
Yeah, we only go in those gas stations when we're on a trip, and usually by the time we need to stop and get gas, it's the QT stations in South Carolina, which is kind of like a Sheetz, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's not a Sheetz. It's a QT station.
Hey, do you remember trips where you
Oh,
could
when you could
stop
drive and stop
go
and
pee
you have
and
to
like
worry
get
about things.
snacks, road snacks, Starburst in a bag?
I would
Like
kill
go to
to
Dragon
go on a trip.
Con.
Oh, Dragon Con. I really should get a hotel room at Dragon Con just in case. But now they're like,
people
you
are
can't
telling me
cancel.
about it. They're like, I have hopes, but I'm like, but there's children in my family that cannot get vaccinated because we can't vaccinate them yet because there's no data.
Yeah. It's hard, and that's a hard decision to make, too. That's a tricky one. Like, because you can get the vaccine, but you can still spread it around because you can carry it. And that's tricky to navigate. But that's for a different show. Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, twodorks.tv. I have hopes. I'm going to continue having hopes, and I want to go to Dragon Con because I want to hang out with my buddies at Dragon Con, even if I have to, like, wear a hazmat suit, go sit across the table with them. I want to do it.
It sucks because places like that, like, there's con crud's a thing for a reason, right? Because you just get so many excited,
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of drunk people. Nobody's washing their hands or not spitting in each other's drinks, and it's just like, okay, so you take the literal worst case scenario, and then you go, yeah, we should be good for, like, what are they gonna do? Even if they limit by half the amount of people attending, it's still too much.
I've never gotten the con crud. You're right. Even if they limit, it's still too many people. But I've never gotten
Since you
con
and I
crud.
washed our hands and drank wheatgrass.
That's right. That wheatgrass. Remember when we were like, let's get some Papa John's pizza because I don't know where to find food, and we ate it, and then we were just instant indigestions. We were like, mistakes.
Immediately went to our room and chugged wheatgrass.
And I was like, give me that wheatgrass, and it was awesome. I mean, it tasted like poop, but it solved my stomach problem. Here we go, WTF section. WTF. We could get Gene Pool Pie. You were in a panel last year. Apply for professional. You'll get it. It's fine. Friggin' Charles approves that BS. He knows you're a professional.
Dude,
Get it on
yes.
in there. You're as professional as any of us.
I'm annoyed that you didn't apply. I'm gonna kick you in the butt.
I'm gonna come find you because me and Ashley, do we look professional? We got in there. All you gotta do is say, "Hey, man, I'm a podcaster," and they go, "Cool, what do you do?" And you're like, "I talk on the internet," and they're like, "That sounds great. You're a professional now. You get a free ticket."
Where Oddly said he posted something in.
He
the
did. He
Discord,
posted the art stream. I was trying to look at it, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do the thing. Oh, he did the half hour of power art. There's no way that's gonna show up. It kind of does. The half hour of power. Sorry, audio listeners, you're missing this one.
Oh, that's so good.
So Steven just ripped out his mic, so I can't hear him anymore. Thank you, Audie. That's amazing. Because I told him it was a lot like Thundercats. Half hour of power. I love it. Oh, that's amazing.
You are fantastic. You guys are a bunch of talented mofos.
You are. You guys are amazing human beings. Amazing. You the best, Audie. Best of luck to Audie in America's Next Top Podcaster. He can do it.
Yay!
He can do it. All right, are you going to read the story?
Oh, is it me?
I think so. I just
Are we
read the
on
one about the
WTF?
porn. Yeah.
Look, I don't see HG. We're professionals.
Yeah.
What episode is this? 541.
Right.
Shit.
We've been doing. I thought about the other day, like 541 episodes.
Damn.
What? That's a huge number.
Right? That's what she said. By the way, TV's Travis, his 100th episode is this Sunday for what you haven't seen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be a good one. I'm excited for that. Congrats to Travis.
Texas is sorry after mistakenly sending emergency alert for current Chucky. The movie, I love that movie. The Texas Public Safety Department raised a few eyebrows in the Lone Star State by sending out an emergency alert asking its citizens to keep an eye out for Chucky, the evil possessed doll from the horror movie series Child's Play. My buddy.
My buddy. Wherever I go, he goes, my buddy. Oh, my buddy. I had one of those. Ripped the stuffing out of him because he was sick and he needed to be operated on.
Oh my God, your brain is a magical wonderland.
My mom was not happy that I ripped all the stuffing out of my buddy, and she put it all back in there. Yeah, he was my buddy.
Another thing we can thank capitalism for: children not being able to afford toys that other children have.
Look, he needed help, and he had a stomach ache. And
your mom waited outside in the cold all night to get that, so you would have that doll, and then you're just like,
I cut his hair too. He was a mess by the time we got done with that guy. Okay, I deserve everything Sam does to me. I just realized I just had some. I had some real detailed flashes of things I did as a small child just for a second. I'm like, yep, checks out. Yeah, we're good. Sam's gonna be fine. I'll survive this.
It'd be great. I mean, that is all it is. Apparently Chucky was a suspect in kidnapping. The messages went out over the state's Amber Alert system. Shit. Which is blasted? Is that your cursor's over it?
I hate. No, my cursor's not over it. I hate news articles that use words like blasted, lit up, really dragged them through the mud. It's like, just write the story. Or like, fire rages at Capitol Hill with blah, blah, blah. And you're like, they're not raging. They're just having a debate. It's just like, why are we making it seem like everything's just this like horrible thing that's going on?
The thesaurus. You bring up your thesaurus.
I bet I can find an article right now that's like, this happened today. This person ripped this person. No, I can't. I can't.
Tall Squall and his demand better news.
What?
With that.
Tall Squall? What's that?
Okay. So you know how I don't read. So if it's a unique word, my brain just kind of blurps it. But he's a Critical Role dude, right? He's like the big buff dude, the big buff D&D
Joe
dude.
Manganiello?
Shit, I don't. Who's that? The Hulk?
No, he's the big buff D&D dude, Joe Manganiello. He's married to
He's-
Sofia Vergara and has a D&D dungeon in his basement because he's awesome.
What? No, okay. Now this is gonna bug me.
And she makes when his D&D friends come over, she makes them like tea and junk because I'm like,
What?
this is amazing.
Tall.
Yeah,
I swear it's
you're
Tall
thinking
Squall.
of Joe
Yes, it's
Manganiello.
Tall Squall. TALLSQUALL. Tall Squall.
But from what?
He's a cosplay.
That's not Joe
device
Manganiello.
Co-author, WoW streamer. I don't know. I don't know who he is or why I follow
Why are you
him.
talking about him anyway? Where are we going with this?
I don't remember now.
Oh,
Oh, the demand better news. Like, there's the hashtag the demand better news.
okay. Cool story, bro.
I look, okay. I don't have to be right even 10% of the time.
No, you don't. It's
Anyway,
your show. You can talk
Chucky-
about whatever you want.
Stole a baby was sent to everybody's phone 3 separate occasions. It describes the suspect as being called Chucky and listed him as a 28-year-old with red auburn hair, blue eyes, who stood at 3 feet 1 inch tall and weighed 16 pounds. He's said to be wearing blue denim overalls with a multicolored striped long sleeve shirt and carrying a large knife, which, if you haven't seen the film, that's Chucky in the film. His race was listed as other doll. In the movies, which debuted in 1988, Chucky is a child's toy possessed by the spirit of a dead serial killer who murders numerous people. This is basically for sub, because I'm assuming he's the only one that hasn't seen it.
He's probably it. Yeah.
Faced with numerous inquiries as to why an alert was being sent hunting for a cartoonish villain from a slasher movie series, the department issued a statement saying, quote, "The alert is the result of a test malfunction. We apologize for the confusion."
We apologize for the confusion. Sorry.
I'm gonna cry.
Have a
This
good
may
day.
have caused, but I'm diligently working to ensure this does not happen again. I love that some tech dude wrote that up as a test and accidentally sent it to people.
So great. I mean, let's hope he still has a job. I mean, things happen, you know. There's
Like,
accidents occur.
I'd say that wasn't that big of a deal.
Did anybody watch the new Chucky? Was it any good? It took a much different take. It was like an AI robot that connected to the cloud and then got possessed. I much prefer the voodoo serial killer slant. That was way more fun.
The little footprints in the flower was legit.
Yeah. That's
That
been a
was
long
the old
time
one.
since I've watched. I watched it. I probably watched that when I was 12, I think, when you were old enough to realize how dumb it is.
Mark Hamill was Chucky in the new one. Mark
He
Hamill is
was.
the best voice actor. Like, he will always be the best. He gave you chills as Batman animated series voice actor. I don't know why he was so good for that role, but he was so good for that role.
He's really good. If you ever get a chance to listen to, there's a podcast Kevin Smith did called Fat Man on Batman, and they had Mark Hamill on for 2 episodes talking about stuff, and he tells the best stories in the best ways. It was such a joy to listen to Mark, because he's a nerd. He's a nerd,
Yeah,
and he's a content creation machine. Like, if you can get on Kevin Smith's show and talk more than he does, then you have you have captivated him. And it's pretty great, because you're like, I've actually heard Mark Hamill say a lot of words, and Kevin's just sat there and listened, and this is amazing. It was a great show. They changed it up.
I feel like Kevin Smith would, though. I feel like that's kind of like meeting a pseudo deity for him.
Yeah, like all about the Star War, all about that
It's like
Star War.
when we got to talk to Margaret Weiss, I'm just like,
And I'm like,
tell me
hey, I've never read any of your books, but I'll help drive this bus. I don't know what any of this is.
so awesome.
She was cool though, dude. She really was. She was a lot of fun. That was a good
I just
show.
loved how excited she was for that dog ball sport that she plays.
I really wanted to bring that up for her because I knew it would just break the ice really good, and she get to talk about something other than her fantasy series.
Dog ball?
What was that called? It was when you throw the ball and the dog brings. It's like a relay race frisbee thing for dogs. Dog ball, I think, is what we called it.
Dog ball.
It was just called dog ball.
You're Is that a type of dodgeball? No, it's dog ball.
Hold on, we got this. Where's the notes? I got it. Margaret Weiss. I can bring this up. I can find it. Margaret Weiss is do your
Dog ball.
puppies favorite place to ride? Questions are something. Oh, it's not in the notes. It's not. Oh, fly ball.
Fly ball.
Fly ball. That's what it was
From
called.
now on, fly ball is dog ball.
It was some dog thing. Man, we talked to some cool people. It was a lot of fun.
H&H Circle of Tangents. Subject: we're getting a shirt made that says that. It is just like we're gonna have your little subject to tagline put at the bottom because it was like the best description of the show ever.
And it's perfect. And we managed a half-hour power again. Congrats, everybody. We did it. I know it's hard to believe, but we made it. We did the half-hour power. You got the half-hour power. Oh! Really wanted one. I get to this Smash. I get to this show, and I'm tired. I didn't sleep last night. I didn't want to do it. I was like, God, I don't want to do this show. Blah blah blah. And then we start talking, and I have a blast every time. And then like I need to go sleep, but I don't want to sleep anymore.
You can go to bed because you get off and you're just like wired. You're like, I should go to bed because my kid's gonna wake up with 6 or 7.
Yeah, but you're wired because of the stupid excitement of talking to people on the webs, on the interwebs.
Oh my God, Sub! If this is what Steven thinks a half hour is, Stephanie's probably very happy.
She is very happy, Sub. I'm glad you asked. She's very happy. She's the best. She's the best.
Like moving on from the sex
Let's
life
find a
of
way
my
to get
sister.
past that, though. Hey, man, if you enjoyed the show, if you've had a good time hanging out with us, if you like being here live and all that stuff, you should tell people. Word of mouth is one of the best ways to get a podcast out there, to tell friends. I mean, shoot, welcome to D.H. Dunn. This is the first time I've seen him in the chat. Saw him in the chat the other night for Cursed Dragon Ship when they did their announcement, and it was great. I had a lot of fun there. We should spread that love all over the place. I mean, but with consent. Don't just go in people's other chats and be like, go to this other chat. That's gross. Like, but be cool. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. So if you want to tell other people about it, I would encourage that. We don't have to keep this a secret.
Go look at this podcast where they talk about pee.
We talk about urine. Hopefully everyone doesn't turn it off after 5 minutes. Like, this is too much pee-pee for me. I'll pass. We're not changing, so I just hope get used to it. Whatever. If you like the show, 5 stars on any podcasting service of choice, that'd be the preferred way to do it. And if you like anything we say and you want to be part of the community, twodorks.net/Discord. Join our Discord where we're in it all the time. We got Techie Corner. We got the Art Corner. We got people who just chat about whatever. We got memes. You want memes? We got memes. We got everything you want.
For writing.
We got writing sprints. You want to talk about whatever you're writing and working on? Go ahead. Get in there and talk about it. It's a lot of fun. twodorks.net/Discord. Since all of us are IT nerds, most of us are sitting at our computers all day anyway. So those things are there. So come on and join the community. Follow me on Twitter, Steve H&H. Follow Ashley, Fate Kills, P-H-A-T-E Kills. And if you want to tip us for us providing you countless hours of entertainment, I mean, you could probably count them, but it'd take a long time. You can do so at twodorks.net/tip or join us on Patreon at patreon.com/twodorks, where you can join Jesse, Hammerdwarf, Og, Oddly Normal One, Adam and Christina of Geekheim, and our parents in supporting us, keeping this show going. We appreciate you guys more than you know. And we'll leave you with these words of wisdom from an anonymous person. Maybe their name's anonymous, but I don't think so. I think we just don't know who they are. Taking an image, freezing a moment, reveals how rich reality truly is. Well said. Well said. Thank you, anonymous person. We'll see you all next time here on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Bye!